On Billboard tonight, Gangsters in Hull, a singer-songwriter from Grimsby, and Olivia Coleman in Film Review. Welcome to Billboard with me, Ted Stanley, for our monthly roundup of arts and entertainment in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. In our new feature for 2023, we look back at some of our most popular guests over the last 6 years and ask, where are they now? We first met this talented singer-songwriter from Grimsby back in 2021 when he joined us for a talk about his music and his challenges of COVID lockdown.
My name's Sam Simmons. I'm a musician, singer-songwriter from Cleethorpes. I've been active for about 15 years now. It was probably about 13, 14 when I properly first started getting into music. And I just sort of went into a bit of a rabbit hole with it and just really fell in love with a lot of different bands, and then decided to get a guitar and give it a go, you know.
What kind of gigs do you enjoy playing most?
The majority of what I do is covers gigs. That's what I do as a job, which I love. But then playing my own music is what gives me a more like deep satisfaction from playing that, you know.
Sam continues to be popular on the local music scene, both as a solo performer and in the lineup of local bands. You can keep up to date with his new music and latest gigs on Facebook. From music to literature now, and journalist and broadcaster Hugh Richards joins us from the sunny shores of southern Spain with a review of the latest book releases.
Cheers, Ted. Thanks very much, and welcome to a Spanish summer that saw no sunshine until mid-June. Something strange about this continental life, which is the subject of Ben Judah's book, This Is Europe. Its blurb promises some impossible European identity, but this is not really an analysis or an argument. Judah has interviewed what he calls unsung heroes who happen to work in and across Europe. He reports conversations with fishermen, air stewards, winemakers, and long-distance lorry drivers. If the consensus is that the continent is changing, that's hardly news. His sources are always insightful, observant, and amusing. He's found some characters, but I know no more about European identity, if there is one. This is great reportage, but there's little confidence in generalising from the particular, even if these particulars are excellent company. Sport seldom appears in these reviews, but cricketer Mike Brearley is always worth reading. For a start, he's the only person to have been president of the MCC and president of the British Psychoanalytical Society. This dual career, first-class cricketer and philosophy lecturer, England captain and psychoanalyst, must give him a unique understanding of leading adults playing games and knowing how their minds make them want to do it. Turning Over the Pebbles is not just an autobiography, it records a long life of literature, philosophy and psychology, all of which informed his cricket leadership more than cricket ever informed anything else. This is Sigmund Freud at the wicket. Bernard Cornwell is probably our most successful writer of historical fiction. I loved his Sharp series about the Napoleonic Wars, although they did become rather formulaic. The artillery always seemed to sound like distant thunder around page 160. The Last Kingdom series, televised a few years ago, was just as gripping. Cornwell clearly had some spare short stories available, now in Uthred's Feast, which is one of the craziest books ever published. The warlike stories are as expected, but he's teamed up with Suzanne Polak, who contributes Anglo-Saxon recipes. It's a Viking Age cookbook. Publishers must think they can sell anything with Bernard Cornwell's name on it. First catch your wild boar. And a catchy title helps. Bored Gay Werewolf pretty much sums up the plot of Tony Santarella's tale of a rather lazy young man simultaneously dealing with questions of both sexuality and species, all helped by a lycanthropic self-help guru. It covers a lot of subgenres. That's it, Ted. I'm getting back to the pool to enjoy an old favourite, tapas and rioja. Don't get much of that in Anglo-Saxon England.
Thank you, Hugh. Hasta pronto. In other literary news, the Hammond House Literary Prize is already attracting entries from around the world, hoping for success in the top prize winners and publication in the annual anthologies. This year's theme is fate, and writers can enter in any or all of the 4 categories: short stories, poetry, scripts or songs. The window for entries remains open until the 30th of September. Time now for more music and some of the best live gigs around the region with folk singer and music historian Kirsty Hanna.
For the cost of living, for the wars we're winning, we both know that's another nice mess you've got me.
South London genre blending storytellers Alabama 3 will perform at Docks Academy in Grimsby on Thursday the 20th of July. Formed in Brixton in 1995, Alabama 3's sound fuses country and blues styles with elements of acid house.
All the dogs are warm and twitching, waiting for the sun to go down.
If classical music is more to your taste, you can enjoy an afternoon of Tchaikovsky, Mozart and Brahms with the Hessel Sinfonia in the beautiful setting of Hymas Hall in Hull on Saturday the 1st of July. The Ashley Campbell Trio will be at Wrecking Ball Arts Centre in Hull on Sunday the 16th of July. Youngest daughter of Glenn Campbell, Ashley is no stranger to these shores, performing at UK festivals since 2016 with the likes of Chris Christopherson and Jimmy Webb. Expect favourite songs from her top 10 country albums, The Lonely One and Something Lovely.
I slipped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that grey tomb that knows no sound, but I'm still around.
From Glastonbury Festival to the Royal Albert Hall, singer-songwriter Edwina Hayes has shared some of the greatest stages in the UK with the likes of Jules Holland and Van Morrison. You can enjoy her gentle folk Americana and beautifully crafted songs at the Raffer Club in Cleethorpes on Saturday the 15th of July.
Change my life the way you've done. It feels like home to me.
And finally, a chance to see one of the most enduring musicians of his generation, Rod Stewart. Rod is coming to Craven Park Hall on the 4th of July as part of a UK-wide tour to promote his new album, The Tears of Hercules. Expect both new songs and show-stopping classics from this multi-million selling superstar.
What should I keep in my medicine cabinet? I think it's a very good idea to have a medicine cabinet. When you need first aid, you don't want to look around the house in a panic. You have it somewhere all collected all together. You can have some very basic things in there that are not expensive. Think about using something warm for pain or something cold. So hot water bottle or wheat bag, one of those that you can put in the microwave, or an ice pack. Paracetamol, ibuprofen are very good starting points. Antihistamine tablets are a good idea as well for hay fever, or again if you have an itchy rash, some hydrocortisone cream that will help with those sort of things. The most important thing is when you have got a wound or a burn to clean the wound first really well under tap water, then apply a clean bandage or a clean plaster. Some people do like to have some cough lozenges at home or maybe some cough mixture. Again, also simple things. When you have a cough, obviously just drinking well is a really good idea. Indigestion, again, there are different types of things you can take. There's some you can chew on or suck on if you prefer. There are liquids and there are some tablets available. It's a good idea to also have a thermometer in your medicine cabinet. This is the one that's been advised by the NHS for small children, and this goes under the armpit. And then of course you've got these ones that you'll see used also in the surgeries and can certainly be used on adults. This one goes in the ear. I think it's important to keep a few things that are for children, and often that is because it's in a liquid form. I would always have some children's paracetamol at home, I would have some children's ibuprofen at home, I might have some children's antihistamine. Children seem to always prefer plasters with pictures on, but sometimes my husband does too.
Coming up on tonight's show, a crime novelist from Yorkshire and Monty Python in Hull. But first, here's actress and broadcaster Liz Drury with a review of some of the latest film releases.
On Film Review tonight, a different take on a famous author, sublime Icelandic landscapes, and a gorgeous family film from Japan. But first, Past Lives, a remarkable debut from writer-director Celine Song. This touching story uses the bonds between its central characters to support incisive observations on the human condition. Nora and Hae Sung, two childhood friends, are torn apart after Nora's family emigrates from South Korea. 2 decades later, they are reunited in New York for one fateful week as they confront notions of destiny, love, and the choices that make a life.
If two strangers walk by each other in the street and their clothes accidentally brush, that means there have been 8,000 layers of inyan between them.
Want you to stay. Want you to stay.
Godland from writer and director Hlynur Pálmason is an elliptical and elemental treat from one of Europe's great new filmmakers. A gently absorbing meditation on morality, beautifully filmed against a backdrop of the majestic Icelandic landscape. In the late 19th century, a young Danish priest travels to a remote part of Iceland to build a church and photograph its people. But the deeper he goes into the unforgiving landscape, the more he strays from his purpose, his mission and his morality.
Men glem det. Og tænk på apostlene, der blev sendt ud for at prædike for verden. Hele verden og alle i den. Denne elendige, ynkelige flok ensomme mænd. Men de gjorde det. Og af den grund er ingen opgave umulig. Og derfor er din opgave heller ikke umulig.
Not perhaps for Bronte purists or serious writers, but Frances O'Connor's biopic Emily takes a bracingly irreverent approach to its story, bringing Emily Bronte vibrantly to life. Haunted by the death of her mother, Emily struggles within the confines of her family life and yearns for artistic and personal freedom, and so begins a journey to channel her creative potential into one of the greatest novels of all time.
Who are you? You wait and see.
Our family film tonight, Kiki's Delivery Service, is a gorgeously heartwarming animated tale of a young witch discovering her place in the world. 13-year-old Kiki moves to a seaside town with her talking cat Gigi to spend a year alone, in accordance with her village's tradition for witches in training. After learning to control her broomstick, Kiki sets up a flying courier service and soon becomes a fixture in the community. But when the insecure young witch begins questioning herself and loses her magic abilities, she must overcome her self-doubt to get her powers back.
お父さん、お母さん、お元気ですか？落ち込んだりもしたけれど、私は元気です。
On DVD and Blu-ray, Gifted, Nowhere Special and A Song for Jenny are also worth a look.
Chris Speck is a teacher, musician and author who uses his home county of Yorkshire as the setting for his gritty crime novels. We last met Chris in 2021 when he joined us to talk about his recently released novel, A North Sea Tale. and his new project, a historical crime novel set against the Great Frost of 1709. We caught up with him again to find out more about his latest crime adventure. So, Chris, welcome back to Billboard. It's nice to see you again. It's a couple of years since you were last on the programme, I think.
It was lockdown, I think, Ted, when I last spoke to you guys.
Wow. And at that time, I think you just had a new book come out and you were working on a new project. Can you just remind us what that was?
Yeah, well, my book at that point was a story called North Sea Tale, which was a murder mystery set on a 1974 trawler. And then I started working on a book set in 1709 during the Great Frost in a little village where I'm from called North Burton. And I ended up with this book called The Great Frost.
Ah, right.
And this was the first of a trilogy of books, actually. The second one came out last year, and this deals with a very poor working lass who lives in the village. And one night she takes in a highwayman and she nurses him back to health.
I think it's great that you tap into these historical settings, both in terms of the sort of truth of history, but and dramatise them, but also your own Yorkshire roots.
Well, for definite. I mean, the third and final instalment is coming out hopefully next month. It's called Nick the Swift. I don't know if you remember about Swift Nick, who was meant to be Dick Turpin's sidekick. Well, in the next book, Swift Nick is a 16-year-old lass. Also this year, which is doing really, really well, is I've just released this Avenue Cars as well.
Oh, that's your latest book.
This is a gangland thriller set on a street called Champlands Avenue in Hull.
So, writing about gangland killings in Hull, is it not giving your fellow Yorkshiremen a bad reputation?
Well, not really, because it's the guys from outside who are the baddies, you know. The guys from Manchester or Leeds, you know. There's the Scousers or the guys from the Mackhams or somewhere. Yeah, no. But ultimately, you know, good triumphs in my stories. They're stories of hope and they're stories of how people triumph over the situations that they find themselves in.
So, where can people buy your books? Are they available on Amazon and the usual booksellers?
Yeah, you can get them all on Amazon. You can get them in Waterstones. You can get them in the libraries up in East Yorkshire. Yeah, you can pick them up from the bookshops here in Hull, some of the independent ones, and some of the other independent bookshops around Yorkshire as well.
Festival of the Sea returns to Grimsby for a third consecutive year on Saturday, the 15th of July, celebrating the rich heritage of our coastal community.
Festival of the Sea Grimsby, it's back on its third year running on Saturday 15th of July and it's taking place outside the Fishing Heritage Centre and along the waterfront, with a few activities also taking places in a few other locations. This year's programme has been designed with a community-led group. Most of our programme is local talent.
Casbah Theatre is proud to present Captain Fishcake and his fabulous fish fingers. It's a puppet show that's designed to entertain family audiences.
We've got 3 amazing activities happening: the exhibition at the Fishing Heritage Centre, 2 workshop sessions outside on the waterfront, and we have Sue Austin, who will be showing her film at our Big Pictures studio on Bethlehem Street.
We also have an immersive theatre performance which will be live streamed at the Turntable Gallery on Victoria Street. Also, the new highlight will be the theatre cookery tent. There will be street food involved with street theatre at the same time.
Come and see us at the Festival of the Sea on Saturday, the 15th of July.
This multi-art form festival will take place across several locations in the town centre of Grimsby and on the waterfront by the Fishing Heritage Centre, where you can enjoy vibrant street theatre, live music and dance from talented local artists. There'll be lots of activities for young people, families and friends to discover more about Grimsby's wonderful heritage. More entertainment news now as Gemma Lidgard reviews some of the best shows from around the region in box office.
We're starting this month at the Hull Truck Theatre, where Monty Python's Spamalot plays from the 11th to the 15th of July. This award-winning musical, based on the 1975 film Monty Python and the Holy Grail, enjoyed huge success on Broadway and in the West End. A genuinely funny, laugh-out-loud production not to be missed. Rhythm of the Dance is at the Skegness Embassy Theatre on the 21st of July. A show that has brought audiences around the world to their feet for over 2 decades and is returning with a brand new production. The ultimate classic rock show is at the New Theatre Royal in Lincoln on the 14th of July. Dust off your air guitars for an evening of the very best classic rock anthems from legends past and present. Let them take you on a roller coaster journey of classic rock nostalgia, performing hit after hit with stunning accuracy and high energy, accompanied by an incredible light show. Blood Brothers is at Hull New Theatre on the 18th of July. This captivating story tells the moving tale of twins who separated at birth, grew up on opposite sides of the tracks, only to meet again with fateful consequences. And finally, get ready to recreate the magical 70s when Lost in Music comes to Bridlington Spa on the 22nd of July. Take a musical journey straight to the heart of disco with some of the greatest songs of all time, from Donna Summer, Gloria Gaynor, Earth, Wind and Fire, Sister Sledge and She.
Well, that's almost all for tonight's show. You can keep up to date with the latest news on our Facebook page. And to make sure you don't miss any of our programmes, click the subscribe button below. If you have a story you would like us to feature on Billboard, email details to news@billboardtv.uk. From everyone on the Billboard team, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again in July for more entertainment news, entertaining guests and great music.
I'll fly a starship across the universe divide, and when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again, or I may simply be a single drop of rain, but I will remain, and I'll be back